Let the bullshit games begin. It's a dirty job, but some cow's got to do it.
Hey, detectives. We have some sick shit to talk about today. Case 1. The Black Eye of Hollywood. File 1. Diddy and the Others.
For far too long, Hollywood has been a playground for predatory behavior.
Yeah, crazy, I know. Here are a few of Hollywood's elite who have been accused and or convicted of SA crimes.
On Twiddling with the Stars we have Sean Diddy Combs, the master of baby oil, Harvey Weinstein, the porker, Popsicle Man Bill Cosby, Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known as R. Kelly. We should have known he was up to no good with the middle name Sylvester. Oh no, not that 70s show. Danny Masterson! Oh, this is sickening, truly. Who else? We have Jeffrey Epstein, the alleged snorting comedian whom used to be married to the California girl Katy Perry, Russell Brand. Lastly, the Nickelodeon employees, dialogue coach Brian Peck, production assistant Jason Handy, clearly Hansy, and animator Ezell Channel. Quite a list we have here, alleged crimes for some of them. The freaky little elves. While we pull up their case files, we shall have a word from one of our sponsors. Defined You, where color has meaning. Oh, don't we love that? Roll the commercial!
At Define You, we believe color is more than style. It's language, a voice for your spirit, a symbol of who you are and what you stand for. Self-expression is power, whether loud or low-key. So we design for everyone, every shape, every shade, every story. Because caring isn't just a value, it's our foundation. This is Define You.
Wonderful. I see a few things I might need for myself. Back to the case! Time to trudge through the shit. What do you say, Slate?
Agreed. So let's start with the big bad wolf currently in the news. Sean Diddy Combs. Let's do these charges here. Charges are racketeering, trafficking, transportation for purposes of prostitution. And those are just the headlines.
That's interesting. I didn't realize they separated what the transportation was for.
Wow. He was doing all of that? He had all of that going on? I thought he was supposed to be so positive.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as he turned into Dr. Love, he ended up having maybe a little bit too many freak fests because everything started to come crashing there. If you guys remember, he ended up starting to sell his businesses, cleaning up his accounts, and then right after that, boom, feds hit. Sounds to me like somebody was trying to clean house.
So he was dancing in aluminum foil pants, then partying with girls right after.
Well, if you hear some of the rumors they're saying online, it's more than just girls.
That's what the oil was for. Did you see what those guys looked like?
Maybe slowly interact with him as you go on. But long as he was in the corner, they would go along with it. But it seemed like he was a little too close to them at times, making them...
I would say allegedly, guys. I mean, he's still on trial. He hasn't been convicted of anything yet.
Great point to make. We do need to keep in mind that these are all accusations with no clear defined conviction just yet. He has trial for about 8 weeks in total, so over the next coming weeks we'll of course hear a lot more charges, a lot more accusations, and explanations from the defense as well to see what truly is going on.
See, you have Harvey Weinstein there as well. Haven't heard that name in a moment. What were his charges?
Well, this one was incredibly violent, but pretty straightforward. We have rape and SA convictions.
Well, he got away with doing those things for a very long time. I mean, alleged actions, or I shouldn't say alleged because he was convicted. So his actions have happened over several years. And it's crazy that he hasn't been held accountable until, it's time for him to be in an old folks home. He's pretty much lived his life doing some horrible things to people.
Do you think that's a pattern we see often, Janet?
I'm not sure, but it appears to be so here in Hollyweird.
Where's all the witnesses when all this stuff is happening for 40, 50 years? Everybody seems to show up for trial once 20 years have passed since the crime's been done, and no one ever thinks to report this early on? Are they all just still at work for these people, get paychecks, and some of them sounds like they're even doing it with them, and then out of nowhere they get amnesia that they're accomplices?
That sounds like a case, Deacon. Think of the popsicle guy. What was his name? Bill Cosby? What were his charges?
Well, as we all know, he was charged with several SA allegations. Not quite as long of a list as Diddy, but the general consensus was on that basically he would get these adult women, drug them, and then... But as we know, since then, his charges were overturned.
Sounds like he's home now. Leads me to remember Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known as R. Kelly. You know, I feel like we should have kind of suspected something by the name Sylvester. But I see his charges were racketeering, Mann Act violations, and exploitation of minors. Age wasn't nothing but a number, huh?
Yeah, and if you listen to his music, he seemed to constantly talk about it. Hidden in plain sight, you can definitely say. But another one who, this one may have been a bit unexpected for some of you, born in the 90s, Danny Masterson. The guy from That 70s Show? That's friends with Ashton Kutcher? Yeah, he was charged with forcible rape.
Is there any other kind?
I don't know. There's no way that all of these people were doing all of these horrible things and no one knew about it. I feel like Hollywood has been very much complicit.
100%. And you know, one person I think is a great example of knowing everything about it and even orchestrating some more of it to happen. Jeffrey Epstein, the biggest, baddest wolf that we've heard of over the last decade or so.
Well, once again, allegedly, because as we all know, he's no longer with us. And at the time of his demise, he was facing federal ST charges. So, I mean, it does seem like he could have been the supplier, but we will never know because he did not have his day in court.
Yep, and it sounds like those so-called files they have will never be released.
Whose name I was surprised to hear? Russell Brand. That's the guy who used to be married to Katy Perry, right?
Sure is. And he is currently facing charges of rape and SA for 4 women from the time of 1999 to 2005.
Isn't that around the time he was all on drugs and stuff? That's the British dude, isn't it?
Yep.
The comedian. The comedian, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well known to take
Who's
pretty
now
much
the
every single
wellness
drug you
guy?
can think
Isn't he
of.
like a holy wellness guy or something now? Like some type of monkish type of guy now or something?
That's a path.
That's, as they like to say, reformity, supposedly.
Well, once again, we'll have to say allegedly, because he has not been found guilty of anything as of yet.
His case will be one to watch.
Sure will.
And a couple more from the Grand Big Nickelodeon. We have 3 employees. This first one starting with Brian Peck, former dialogue coach, was charged with SA of a minor. We have Jason Handy, former prop production assistant, also charged with SA of a minor. And Ezell Chanel, former animator, charged with lewd acts with minors. Safe to say that all 3 of them have been taking decades of time to abuse every single person they could get away with finding in a trailer.
To hear that Brian Peck was a sexual predator, it made me wonder immediately about who was being hurt.
Who it is, when it happened, where it happened, I have no idea.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows.
Yes.
I'm okay. I really appreciate you reaching out and giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what we saw over the last 2 nights.
I'm really glad you're here because I believe this is important.
For sure.
We've got a lot of things to unpack.
But before I dive into my list of topics that I'd like to discuss, is there anything you'd like to start off with?
Absolutely. Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult. Me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret. And I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt that.
Well, Nickelodeon sure know how to pick their employees. It looks like they hired a lot of weirdos.
It's interesting what accountability steps they take to prevent this in the future.
Who, Nickelodeon? Have they even come out and apologized that you're aware of?
No, that I'm aware of. They've never apologized. They just instead said they have steps in place, but never said what those steps were.
It'll be interesting to see if Hollywood cleans up its act.
That brings us to the word of the day: accountability. The fact or condition of being accountable. Responsibility. It is truly time for Hollywood and those around these kinds of bad actors to become accountable as well. There is no rhyme nor reason why these folks should have gotten away with these lewd and horrible acts. And for so long, there has been too many people complicit that hopefully will no longer stand by and watch these ugly things happen.
With all that, so what do we make of all this?
You know what I make of it? I think it goes back to what Janice said about accountability. There's a large lack of it, and there's too many people who are willing to shield their eyes as long as they get something that they want versus speaking up when it's difficult.
So what do you think about the whole entertainment industry?
I think it's a playpen of abuse of power. Most people seem to have entitlement, and they get away with doing a lot, even if it's not this violent.
Well, I don't know. It's all violent. It all can be traumatizing in one way or another. I guess that's why they don't call it Hollyweird for nothing.
I agree. I think it's fair to say the whole entertainment industry is freaked out. And that's not bullshit.
When does it end, though? Is Hollywood a cesspool of abuse that is finally being cleaned up?
I hope so. With young talent rising up to create a seemingly safe space for themselves and the next generations.
Yes, it would be amazing. A space free from deviants that have been operating without consequences for decades.
But is that what's happening?
Or are they cutting off a few members of a long-standing, multi-generational era of predators and groomers?
Maybe. Time will tell, though. Maybe young people will no longer allow the older generation to operate that way. Maybe it's because of the younger people that there's some things getting done. Maybe they're not scared to speak up.
So you think they'll be able to destroy the saying of quid pro quo?
Maybe. Who knows? These young people today are not like the young people of yesterday's. They don't seem to be as intimidated or as scared as yesterday's folks.
I hope that's definitely the case.
You know, it kind of ties into with the young people having the freedom to not only be able to stand up and know that they can get some support, but also know that they don't have to build their career under the oligarch of old Hollywood. I mean, now they have so many different resources and spaces that they don't even have to talk to some creepy producer who's telling them they have to sell their soul or listen to the demands, or they'll never have a life to be able to take care of their family.
So taking the gate away from the gatekeepers. That's interesting.
That's the way it should be. Well,
on that note, we will see you next week as we dive deeper into this bullshit.
Now, move, bitch! I am a detective.